Welcome back to Sports Overtime. On Wednesday, the rivalry renews. Kelvin and Hope meeting for the first time this season. With the 192nd installment 3 days away, we are breaking down the matchup. First, taking a look at the Kelvin side of things. And right now, I am joined by Kelvin head men's basketball coach, Kevin Vandestreek, as well as senior guard and Grand Rapids Christian product, Jordan Daly. Guys, thanks so much for stopping in today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, we'll start with you, Coach Vandestreek. First off, 20 years as a head coach at Kelvin College. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's a pretty significant accomplishment, I think. You know, we've had great players, great support. It's just been a really fun environment. I feel really blessed to have been a part of it. And
20 years at the helm of the Knights means 20 years involved with the rivalry. Take me into the rivalry. What does it mean?
Well, it's hard to explain, really. When I first came, someone asked me, you know, if I knew what I was getting into, and I said, well, I've been a part of some pretty big rivalries, I think, but I had no idea how big exactly it was. So it's what people talk about year-round, but it's not a hated one. We certainly have a lot of respect for one another and those types of things, but we certainly want to win, and you know, over the years the games have been really close, and over almost 200 games played, pretty tight rivalry.
And Jordan, as a senior, you got to be itching to get back out on the court against Hope this year. Take me through what it's been like for you going into your final season in the Hope rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a huge college basketball fan. I think that has a lot to do with the narrative that underlies every game that's played, and I don't think you can find a better narrative than the Calvin-Hope rivalry. And even particularly this year, you got really two interesting teams, the really cool matchup that will be provided for those who are involved with the rivalry. And as a senior, I've got a little extra passion to be out there and understand that I can't take these types of situations for granted because, you know, time is limited out there on the court, and so I'll enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, I have to ask, what's the greatest memory that you have of this rivalry?
Well, I remember in the old field house where kids would line up, you know, for a day in advance, and the doors would open and they'd just come sprinting in to fill up the arena, you know, and there have been buzzer beaters and, you know, all those types of things, and usually it's got something else on the line, a conference championship, the NCAA tournament, something like that, so just a lot of fun.
Yeah, Coach mentioned buzzer beaters, and just this last year, actually, we were involved in probably one of the biggest, most heart-wrenching games that I've been a part of. Came down to the final seconds. We trailed the entire game into the last final seconds of the game, and one of our senior leaders knocked down a huge shot for us when I was involved with the play, and I've gone back and watched the replay tons of times, and like Coach said, there were a lot of implications with that game. It helped to continue our season and give us a couple more games with some of our senior guys, and so that just meant the world. And so I'll look back on that game as one of my greatest memories of basketball all time. So.
Okay. And now you guys are sitting at 8-9 on the season, perhaps not where you want to be at this point, but we'll start with you, Coach. From a philosophical standpoint, what has to go into this matchup with Hope into beating them on the Kelvin side?
Well, I think on one hand, you have to look at it like it's any other game, and in that we have to analyze our team and watch tape of our last game and so on, and prepare for them watching their tapes and, you know, all those types of things to try to put a game plan together that could put us in a position to have success. But on the other hand, I also know the rivalry and the noise and all that kind of stuff has some big implications sometimes. So we need to be able to deal with the emotion of the game and get down to good execution.
And Jordan, just kind of branching off that point, take me into the player's perspective. I mean, you can, basically in any rivalry, you can throw records out the window. Is that kind of how things can be viewed at this point?
I mean, Hope's got an incredible team this year, and I give them all the credit for their success thus far. But I think if you break down our season so far and our results against certain teams, we've got a bit of a wild card team because there's no team that we've stepped foot on the floor with and said, wow, these guys are way better than us, we'll probably get blown out. But there's also not been a team that we stepped foot on the floor and said we should kill these guys. And so that being said, I think we've got a chance. We think we've got a chance stepping on the floor with just about anyone, and with the added passion and the excitement in the environment, I think that it could be a really fun experience for both sides this week.
And then this could be from both of your vantage points. How does Kelvin beat Hope on Wednesday?
Well, I think we try to hang our hat on rebounds and defensive field goal percent, and so for us to be in the game, we have to do those two things really well. And like Jordan said, they're a really good team. They have good balance inside and outside, and so we'll have to play at our best for sure.
Jordan?
Yeah, and I think from a player standpoint, it has a lot to do with our mindset going in. And we've had that conversation in previous games as well. We've got to come into the game with a passion, with an excitement, with an enthusiasm, understanding that we're lucky to be able to play in an environment and a game like that. And so to back away from it isn't what we need. We need to charge in head first and take advantage of the opportunity. And so that involves us coming together as a group, as a team, and being ready and prepared for war. So
sounds good. Well, you guys sound like you have a plan in place for Wednesday, and looking forward to seeing it in action. So, guys, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks.
We are back on Sports Overtime. Thanks for joining us. We continue to explore the rivalry. Kelvin and Hope meeting on Wednesday for the 192nd time, this time around at DeVos Fieldhouse. And right now, I am joined by Hope men's basketball head coach Greg Mitchell, as well as junior guard and Rockford product Chad Carlson. Guys, thanks so much for stopping in tonight.
You bet. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Coach, we'll start with you. You're number 2 at the helm of the Hope College men's basketball program, fairly fresh to the rivalry, but you did play yourself in it in the 80s. You've seen both sides of it, so take me through what's it like as a coach and what's it like as a player, especially, you can give a kind of historical perspective on it.
Yeah, I think as a player, I'll go there first. There's nothing like it. I mean, you just get so excited to play. The days, the weeks leading up to it just kind of build. And then the game itself, it really almost supersedes all of your expectations. The intensity, the emotion, the crowd, etc. There's nothing like it, and it's a great reason why you go to Hope College, and why a lot of guys go to Calvin. As a coach, a little bit different. You got to be a little more cerebral and dial it back in. It's not all about just the emotion. It's about execution. It's about getting your guys ready to handle all it is, the rivalry. But in both realms, it's a privilege to be a part of it, and just blessed to be the coach in this role, and really excited to see where we can take this thing on Wednesday.
Chad, you guys are coming off a close game against Kalamazoo on Saturday, maybe not what you expected coming in. And then last Wednesday, you set a career high for yourself, 17 points, and a full slate of action with 40 minutes played. Especially with your game, and just as a team leader being, the point guard distributor, where's this team at right now heading into the matchup with Kelvin?
I just think we're ready for this rivalry. I mean, they got us 3 times actually last year, and I just think we're ready. It's intense. It's going to be fun, and I'm just ready to go on Wednesday and get another crack at them.
So 3 times, does that mean that there's probably a little payback in store?
Yeah, we have this whole thing get your bike back when we're playing Calvin, so hoping to get a little piece of that back on Wednesday.
Taking the court in the rivalry, especially take me through that first time when you stepped on the court.
First time was definitely nerve-wracking. Fans were into it. The place was rocking. But I just think it was just an awesome experience just to be a part of this rivalry, and looking forward to playing again.
Okay. And Coach, from a philosophical standpoint, that's kind of how the coaching realm works a little bit. What does this Hope team have to do to win on Wednesday?
That's a great question. I think we've got to be consistent, number one. We've got a pretty good record right now, but we're not exactly playing perhaps the way that we feel we can play. Specifically Wednesday, Calvin rebounds the ball so well, and they play very, very well together. And we know where to get their best efforts. We got to keep them off the glass. We got to take care of the basketball. I think teams that win the turnover margin in games like this have a really good chance of being successful. And I think we just got to play together. We're definitely a team that on a given night, Chad might lead us, or Ben Gardner might lead us, or Brock Benson, or whomever. We've got to make sure that we're ready to be a balanced group, establish our inside presence, and just play really, really hard for 40 minutes, because we know it's more than likely it's going to come down to the end. We've got to be prepared for that.
Kind of relating to that, Chet, is there an X factor, just as a leader, that you see on your team that come Wednesday, you're either that guy's picking you guys up, or some form of you guys is just driving the team home for a win?
I think Ben Gardner, our 2 guard, gets us going. You know, when he's playing well, we really feed off his energy, and I think if we can get him going, then our whole team will get rolling, and we should have something good in store for us.
Okay. And, you know, obviously, like any rivalry, there's probably some sleepless nights over it, good and bad. But Tuesday night, what does that look like for you? Obviously, you probably want to get into bed early, but are the nerves too much to sleep? What's it like?
Yeah. It's just exciting. I mean, you watch a lot of game film. You want to prepare. You want to be ready for everything. But you're right. I think those are the nights where you just want it to get here, and it might be a little bit difficult to fall asleep. But you know, we'll find our way and get a good night's rest the night before. And it'll be a fun day leading up to it, and we'll just want 8 o'clock to get there as soon as possible.
So, Chad, you've played in it now 2 years. Still nerves when tip-off comes night before?
Of course, a little bit, yeah. I'm more anxious than anything, you know, just to get the game going. You know, warm-ups, the crowd's crazy, and I'm just ready to get the game started. So.
Well, I'm sure DeVos Fieldhouse is going to be packed on Wednesday. Any number estimation that you guys expect or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, our student allotment of tickets are sold out. Our season tickets are sold out. You know, somebody might prop the back door open and let some other people in. Who knows? Yeah, I'm guessing it'll be, you know, 3,800, as many people we can squeeze in there. And it's going to be an electric environment. We're going to feed off our crowd, and hopefully, you know, as soon as the ball goes up, we're playing with that passion and emotion that a great, you know, sellout crowd can create. And you know, we represent and just play the right way.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, I'm sure it will be a very electric atmosphere come Wednesday. Coach Mitchell, Chad, thanks so much for stopping in tonight and joining us on Sports Overtime.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.